Hi there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Josh Mansfield, a teacher with the Demon, and with me is Nathan Fox, one of the founders of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. Nate, our email today comes from Mila, and it's a pretty great subject. Your strategy works wonders.
Hey, my name's Mila, and I began my LSAT journey with you guys about 3 months ago at a 150 diagnostic. After a few failed attempts at trying to get 100% accuracy on practice sections while simultaneously trying to do as many questions as possible, you can't do both at once. So she was trying to do both accuracy and speed. But then she began to follow our recommendations from YouTube. I started off by committing myself to getting only 10 out of 10 on LR questions, LR sections, absolutely no more than that. And it must be done a minimum of 3 times before I can move on to doing any more questions per section. Interesting. Once I hit 10 out of 10 3 times in a row, I moved on to 15 out of 15 minimum times 3 or 4 as well. Boy, has this strategy changed everything! Exclamation point. I'm now scoring around 167 on an okay day and around 171 on a great day. I'm still working on bringing RC up to 100% accuracy across 3 passages consistently, but this has worked beautifully, and I know I'll get there soon. Just want to say thank you for such a simple yet rewarding strategy. Well, thanks, Mila. I mean, we literally wrote a book called The LSAT is Easy because we believe that the LSAT is easy. And it's shocking that this common sense is not so common. You really just have to read it and understand it. There's a million different gimmicks and shortcuts and stupid tricks. It's just that none of that shit actually works. The only thing that actually works is stop biting off more than you can chew, do fewer questions, get more of them right. I was yelling at my classes yesterday as I was teaching. I love teaching LSAT, by the way. Do you
It's
love
so much
teaching
fun.
LSAT?
I love
I know.
love
It's the
teaching
best.
the LSAT. It
It's
is.
fantastic. I mean, I've been doing it now for coming up on 20 years, and I still am like excited. I got done with my classes yesterday. I was like, I think that might be the most fun I ever had teaching an LSAT class. It's just awesome. I love it. It's just
Yeah.
delightful. You know, you get to see the light bulbs go on, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, yes, forget everything that you learned from whatever dorky class you took previously, because there's so much bad advice out there. And instead, I'm gonna make you guys a promise. You don't have to miss questions. You you can literally get every question you attempt right if you take the time to get it right. Now, if you try to go fast, then yeah, okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine, you're gonna miss it. Like you'll get some right and you'll get some wrong. Yeah, great. I mean, that's just not lawyer type behavior. If you slow down and do what you can capably do, then yes, you can get 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 15 out of 15, and the sky's the limit. It's like, oh, well, I'm just not making mistakes. Nah, there's going to be some at the end of the section that I'm going to have to randomly guess on.
Sure, that's fine.
But be like Mila. I mean, Mila never even mentioned 20 out of 20.
Mm-mm.
Mila said, yeah, 15 out of 15. Keep doing that. I'm already scoring 167. Right. Because, she's probably doing a few more questions than 15, but she learned that she could just nail the first 10, nail the first 15. And now who knows what she's doing? 18, 19 questions with 100% accuracy? Yeah, that's like high 160s.
And you don't even have to do the hardest questions. That's the part that I think is so funny to me, is that students believe that they need to jump and drill level 5 only. It's a common question that we get. Hey, can I filter my drilling so I only do level 5s? And our answer is, well, you shouldn't be doing that. Because if you do, you're practicing the questions that are going to be the ones that you probably shouldn't be attempting in the first place. If the algorithm's not giving you level 5s, then you shouldn't be attempting the level 5s.
No. Yeah.
Second,
It's human nature. People want to do that.
It is. But the second thing I think is important is that people think that by doing the hard ones that they get better at the easy ones. And I just
Mhm.
think of all sorts of analogies that are just so wrong. If you're in algebra right now and you like you don't say, "Well, give me the calculus problems because then I'll get better at algebra if I do
Right.
that." It's like that
Mhm.
doesn't make sense. If you're in athletics, right? Oh yeah, I'll just try and bench 200 so that way I can bench 100 better. Like that certainly doesn't work, right? I can't I don't know where it comes from, but this idea that you should attempt the hardest questions when you haven't even figured out how to just approach a simple one is not going to make you better at this test.
Yeah. It is human nature though. I mean,
It is.
I taught two classes yesterday, right? I teach an all levels class and then I
Yep.
teach double black diamond, which is an expert class.
Yep.
I had like 20 more people in the expert level class than I had in the
The all
all
levels.
levels class.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, look, folks, I can tell where you're at based
Mm-hmm.
on the questions you ask me during the all levels class. And that was a perfectly just right level of challenge for you. And I had a whole bunch of like brand new students, people who had never been to any previous LSAT Demon class yesterday in my double black diamond class. And everything was fine. I mean, it still went well,
Sure.
but I do pretty much every week when I teach double black diamond, I have to just remind everybody, hey guys, if you're not like already scoring in the 170s just solidly, these are not the questions that you really should be wasting most of your time on. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, let's go back to Mila's strategy of just 10 out of 10, no more than that. And until you can do that perfectly, I literally don't want you to do more than that. If you can do 10 out of 10, and if you can do that 3 times in a row, I don't know why she's skipping in fives, like that's also kind of human nature, but it's like, well, how about 11 out of 11?
Well, and I wonder if because she says that she refuses to move on past that number. So my wonder is maybe she does do 12 out of 12 sometimes, but it's not until she hits the 15 out of 15 that she ever looks at a question 16.
Sure. Yeah. That,
But
that's that's all fine. I mean, it's just
yeah,
we just go back to this idea of 100% accuracy on questions attempted. And
yeah,
to follow on to something you said earlier, the questions near the end of the section get harder. Probably not a little bit harder, but like a lot harder. Of course, they'll throw in a tougher one in the
question
beginning
9 might be a doozy, but
once in a
whatever.
while.
Yeah, yeah.
But on average,
Hmm.
you know, number 24 is way, way harder than number 4.
And number 20 through 25
Yes.
are definitely harder than 1 through 5, even with your random
Yes.
exceptions.
Yes. Right. There are going to be outliers. They'll
Sure.
throw easy ones in.
Yep.
I mean, the LSAT's basically easy, so there's easy ones throughout the section, but you can't tell which ones are going to be easy until you do them.
Right.
And I will promise you that the last 10 are always way harder than the first 10. The last 5 are always way harder than the first 5.
Yes.
Okay? That's never not been true. Show me a single section where that's not true. And so if you learn to do it our way, Mila's way, think about what's happening here. You're spending more time per question on easier questions. How's that going to work out in
It's
terms of accuracy?
gonna
Like,
work out
you know,
pretty well.
it works out great
Yeah.
because you're literally doing, okay, so you're doing a shorter test because you're doing fewer questions. So you're doing less work, and the work you're doing is easier work. So it's an easier job. You have more time to do each one of these easy tasks in the job you're doing, the
Hmm.
easy job you're doing. And then when you hit the 5-minute warning, you just randomly guess on all the hard ones at the end of the section. And guess what? You get some of those right anyway. You frequently get the exact same number of those right that your competitors get right, even though they attempted them.
Yeah.
Because students think, oh, yeah, I'm just going to hammer through these 5 questions in 5 minutes at the end of the section. And they get 0 or 1 or 2 of them correct. Well, guess what? That's exactly random guessing.
The attitude that okay, so actually I want to piggyback on something else, and then I want to pivot to another point about Mila. There's a lot of bad LSAT advice out there.
Yeah.
I think that the worst LSAT advice, though, I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff. The worst advice has to be start at question 20, finish, and then go back to question 1.
That's pretty bad.
I mean, there's a lot of really, really, really bad advice, but that one is like, that is just the biggest, like the self-sabotage to the highest degree.
Yeah.
To say, I'm going to spend a majority of my time on these hard questions, run out on the easy ones, like horrific advice.
Yeah.
Please do not ever do that.
Yeah.
The thing that I really like about Mila's point here, and it exemplifies this strategy, this advice to just like get questions right, is so many of the other gimmicky strategies that you'll hear have given you implicit permission to expect to miss questions.
Right.
Right? Oh, it's a parallel. Here's your strategy to guess, to increase your odds of guessing, and then move on.
Jesus.
So they're giving you strategies. Just look for the strongest answer choice, pick it, and move on.
Ugh.
They are giving you advice that is designed to reduce the time with the trade-off that you should be okay missing some questions, that you are not going to get every question right, and that is okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you change your attitude to refusing to miss questions and spend as long as necessary to get those questions right, it's going to unlock a whole new world for you. LSAT becomes easy.
I'm also going to guarantee that you're not going to get every question right. Because you're going to randomly guess on some at the end of the section.
Every question you attempt right.
But on the questions you attempt, you don't have to miss questions anymore.
Yes.
And I don't care whether you're today scoring 140, 150, 160, 170. My advice is the same. Do fewer questions with higher accuracy. Do fewer questions. They will be, if you start at the beginning of the section and you don't outsmart yourself, reading the question first so that you can then skip the hard types or whatever. It's like, no, you skipped question number 4. Are you kidding me? That question is easier than whatever it is later.
Yes.
I don't care about the question type. It's question number 4. It's easy, probably. Do question number 4. Never skip it. And do the questions from the beginning. Do as many as you can do. But I want you to feel really good about every answer you pick. And remember, you have 2 ways not to miss a question. You can either find the right answer. That's your main parachute. That's what we're looking for. We want you to predict the answer half the time or more. We want you to just know it when you see it. It feels really good. You're like, yep, that's the answer. That's your main parachute. Your backup parachute is you're going to read all 5 answers and you're going to refuse to pick a wrong answer. Because when you miss one, 2 things happened. You chose a wrong answer, but you also failed to pick the right one. And that's 2 mistakes to miss a single question. And if you just slow down, you realize, oh, okay, I don't have to make those mistakes anymore. But even a student scoring 170 should plan to leave some guesses at the end of the section, because I want you doing, like, it's much better to do 22 questions with perfect accuracy than it is to do 25 questions with 80% accuracy. It's just a no-brainer. I mean,
even some 175 scores are expecting to guess once or twice.
Totally. So, yeah, I mean, in general, if you hear a time management tip, it's a bad tip. We just don't even talk about time management. It's one of the hardest things to convince students of. Mila admits it took her a while before she finally actually understood what we were trying to say. But you ignore the clock entirely. You focus only on doing accurate work, 1 question at a time. Test starts to get easy. And eventually, once you know how to do it right, you're not going to have a problem with speed anymore. But it's only by ignoring it that you actually get what you want.
Yeah.
Anything more for Mila?
Nope. Thanks for writing in, Mila. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.